Wow, wow, wow. Welcome back to the Always Bayern Chelsea show, everybody. Today is Tuesday, February 18th, as I record this one after a dicey but satisfying Champions League draw for Bayern Munich. Yes, that's right. They drew Celtic at home at the Allianz Arena in the return leg of the round of 16 play-in. Man, what a match in not the right reasons for Bayern Munich. They could not beat Celtic at home, but it didn't matter because thanks to a literal last-second goal from Alphonso Davies, Bayern Munich is through to the next round, winning 3-2 on aggregate after beating Celtic 2-1 last week in Glasgow at Celtic Park. So, wow, what a match. So many emotions, so many thoughts about that match, and I'm going to try to rein it all in and give this to you in a somewhat organized headspace, a somewhat organized format, I guess. But first of all, head over to that YouTube channel, Always Bayern Chelsea, and subscribe. We're going to be doing our 100 subscriber giveaway. We just crossed that threshold, but yeah, this episode is going to be a little bit different. It's just audio. It's just me going on here speaking my mind about this match. But don't worry, after the weekend's matches, just like normal, we will be dropping our regularly scheduled video episodes, me and my Chelsea fan co-host Jim. So stay tuned for that and subscribe. And yeah, let's just get back to this match, and I will start it off, I suppose, by reading the lineup that Vincent Kompany went with because maybe a few questionable decisions. You would think that this lineup would have been good enough to take care of Celtic at home, but the gripes that I have with Kompany, they're not entirely about this match in particular. It's kind of just how things have been trending and how things have been building up lately. So without further ado, the starting 11 the Kompany went with this time were Manuel Neuer in between the sticks. No complaints there, of course. Not a bad match from Neuer. And then Josip Stanisic was the right back, which if you've been listening lately, you'll know that I've been clamoring for Stanisic to start. So I was happy with that call. I was very happy with that call. And then we saw Dayot Upamecano and Kim Min-jae again as the center back pairing. Rafa Guerreiro returning to the starting lineup at that left back position. The midfield was Joshua Kimmich and Leon Goretzka. And then the attacking setup was Michael Olise at the right wing, Jamal Musiala at the 10, Serge Gnabry at the left wing, and Harry Kane at the 9. Yeah, let's run down this lineup a little bit. Again, I said I was happy with Stanisic, and I was happy with how he played. Yeah, Kim and Upa, it wasn't their strongest match. Both of these guys are so run down now that they've accumulated so many minutes due to poor management, in my opinion, from Kompany this season, continuously rolling them out. You have a guy like Eric Dyer who did a great job. He did a great job whenever he played, but he did a great job against Celtic last time. And this was a match where I think I would have liked to see Dyer in there just to give some rest to Kim and Upa because, these two make some mistakes when they're run down into the ground. We've seen it time and time again. And I think it's time to give Kim a little bit of a longer rest. Upa has been playing phenomenally. I think these last couple of matches, he was the man of the match against Leverkusen. He held the team on his back for that one, and is honestly kind of the reason I thought why Bayern escaped with the draw in that one. But I would not play Kim Min-jae right now in some of these high-stakes Champions League matches. We saw him make another baffling decision, and that's the reason why Celtic scored a goal. I have more peace of mind playing Eric Dyer, believe it or not, in some of these matches. If you really need the foot speed, I guess you can use Kim, but, why not try out Ito there, too? Ito's back now and healthy, so that's kind of where my head's at, is I think I want to see Ito or Dyer in some of these matches going forward. Not every match. I think Kim can still play sometimes, especially in the Bundesliga. He's had a solid year, but it's every 5 or 6 matches he makes a mistake that, is preventable and it leads to a goal. So at this point, I don't know if I can trust him all the time. He is dealing with Achilles tendonitis, and I think it's just time to give him a little bit of a rest. So that's my thought on I guess the back line, Guerrero, I thought did fine in this match. He didn't really make any mistakes, which, he still is good at contributing to the attack. He's very good at distribution, but I don't think he can play up and down the pitch like he used to be able to. And I think I've said it before, but I think he's becoming a bit of a defensive liability. This match, I don't think he was. I thought he was fine in this match. Midfield, I thought Kimmich was one of the better players. I've seen him start to slow down as of late. So, and as of late, I'm talking about Celtic, the first leg, and Leverkusen. So I'm getting worried that Kompany's also running him into the ground. I mean, Kimmich has played 90 minutes every goddamn match this season. So, he's the one person in the world, I think, who could maybe do that. But nobody is superhuman, even Joshua Kimmich. So I think at some point you have to rest him. You just do, or he's going to get hurt. I know he is a strong personality. The club is negotiating a contract extension with him. He's going to be the captain if he stays. He controls the entire setup of your team, the offense, the defense. He dictates the pace of entire matches. So I get how important he is to this team. And just in general, as a presence, he's so important, but he eventually has to get some rest. And I'm not saying this was the match to do it. I think he stepped up, and like he always does, he's the captain of this team. It's Neuer still until Neuer retires, but Kimmich is the captain of this team in terms of the, I guess, front 10. Everybody outside of the keeper, Kimmich is the one who's controlling things. And so this was a match where he needed to be out there, and he did a good job, I thought. But, and I actually thought Goretzka had a good match too. I thought Goretzka, he certainly could have been better with his finishing, but he was that physical presence that Bayern needed against Celtic in the midfield. I was happy to see Pavlovic get a rest. Pavlovic is still not up to where he has been before his injury this season. He's getting there. He's improving match after match, it seems to me. He's close to where he used to be, but isn't quite there yet, and I think this is a match where you needed Goretzka's box-to-box physicality, so I'm happy Goretzka played. His finishing wasn't perfect in this game. Yes, he missed a couple of chances, but he was so influential in that final goal, and I thought he was good. I thought he was good throughout the match. Michael Olise, I thought, was the best attacking player. He was the one who looked the most dangerous. He was the one who was creating the most chances, and just doing what he's done since Bayern has signed him this summer is clearly one of the best signings of the year in all of soccer. Michael Olise is. So, and he as well is influential on that crucial last second goal. Jamal Musiala, I thought, was all right. I need to see more from him in matches like this, quite frankly. He hasn't been good enough lately. I don't want to sound like I wouldn't have paid Musiala what he was paid in his contract. And I'm fine with the release clause. I think the numbers are a little bit too low on it, but I'm fine with it. If that's what it took to get that deal done, I'm fine with it. But I haven't seen enough out of him lately. I think he's going to be fine. I'm not panicking about Jamal Musiala's performances, but they have been below his standards. I'm sure he would tell you that too if you asked him. And this is the kind of match where I just need him to step up. I need him to put a goal in. I need him to provide an assist, and he didn't do it this match. Serge Gnabry, not a good match from him. It's a shame, that Serge, Coman, Sane oftentimes, although I do think Sane is a little bit better than Gnabry and Coman, it's a shame that they can't produce anymore. And I think that Coman and Gnabry, their time at the club is through, which is sad, and I don't want to discredit or disrespect them because they've been so important to this club's history, but their time is just done. It's time to refresh and it's time for them to go their separate ways and Bayern to go its separate way. So, Gnabry just did not do it for me this match. Harry Kane up top had a great chance off the crossbar that Kane normally would bury right before half. Other than that, had a few other chances that he created. This attack was so disjointed and was so not on the same page that, at times it seemed like Kane was just like, all right, I'm going to do it myself, and took a few shots, didn't end up making them. a lot of people complain about Harry Kane dropping deep, but if Kane stayed in the box all match, he would register 0 touches a match. That's how disjointed and unfluid this attack is right now. So I don't blame him for dropping deep. I don't blame him for trying to make shots for himself. He's that good where he can't do it, and they oftentimes will fall. So, it wasn't his best match, and Kane left at halftime, injured, which is the biggest blow of this whole match for sure. Without Kane, we saw how much this attack struggles, and Bayern has not been honest about their players' health this year. Kane was popped in the jaw against Leverkusen, and that was what we kind of thought that his injury was. He wasn't practicing this week. He took part in the final team training, I believe, and that was all. So that's kind of what we thought this injury was, but it's sounding now like it might be a calf or an ankle thing, so who knows? Bayern has not been open and honest about their player injuries, so I guess we'll find out when we find out about Kane, probably through a secondary source. So it's frustrating. It sounds like Kane doesn't think he's going to be able to play against Frankfurt this weekend, which is going to be a big blow to the team. I don't really want to focus on that yet. I want to talk more about this match, and then maybe I'll start to think about the Bundesliga again. But just disappointing attacking effort from everybody, Harry Kane included, but I am going to cut him some slack because he was injured. And, from what I know about him, if Lewandowski was receiving the service that Kane has received this year, he would be at these guys' throats. I mean, he would be ruthless, and he would be demanding the ball. He would be probably a little bit of a jerk about it, and Kane just honestly isn't that type of person. I think Kane's too nice of a guy to really get frustrated and really, get at some of these attackers who will look for their own shot versus crossing it in when Kane's open in the box. And we saw a lot of moments this match where, for example, Jamal Musiala was frustrated with the attacking team because they just weren't on the same page, and something's got to change. If they want to go far in the Champions League, the attack has to be better. If they want to, hold on to the Bundesliga, the attack might even have to be better. That's probably a little bit of a different story. These tactics the company has that I don't think are working in the Champions League do seem to be enough right now in the Bundesliga. So, they might hold on to that. But hey, if Kane's out for a long time, that's no guarantee either. It's really not with how they played in this match. So there's your starting lineup. Again, I thought it was going to be enough to handle Celtic a little bit more easily than they did. But I just want to mention for a second, because I've talked about this a little bit before, but something has to change with this attack. It's getting to that point now where I think I would like to see a 4-3-3. I would like to see Kimmich, Pavlovic, and Palhinha in the midfield there, and then I would like to see the attacking three be Jamal Musiala on the left side, Kane in the middle, and Michael Olise on the right side. There's just too much going on with this attack right now where they're kind of all just crowding out each other's space. They're all crowding inside the box, and especially against these low blocks, it just doesn't work. And so, like I said, something has to change. If you're married to a 4-2-3-1, what I would like to see is Jamal Musiala at the left wing, Thomas Muller at the 10, Olise at the right, Kane at the 9. I need to see more Muller. We're going to talk more about that as I go through this match, because there were some very questionable decisions by Vincent Kompany in my mind as this match went further on. I just need to see more of Thomas Muller. As of late, he has hardly played lately, and I need to see him because I think he is that connecting piece that links up this attack where the attack is clearly missing a connector. It's just a bunch of individual guys looking for their own shots, and Muller is that connecting piece. He's that pass-first, creative spark that will break down a low block, that will get guys good shots, and that's what Bayern Munich has been missing. Now again, in the Bundesliga, these tactics are enough right now. Just throw a bunch of guys forward and hope that Bayern's pure talent overwhelms other teams, and it does oftentimes. But as we can see in the Champions League with some of these, cream of the crop coaches who are really tactically astute, this strategy by Kompany just isn't working. So back to the drawing board. Let's learn from this one. It's a sigh of relief. I'm probably sounding very, very negative right now, but we won this match, and we won it in spectacular fashion. So that's awesome. And maybe I should actually talk a little bit more about this match at this point, huh? Because I've just been, laying down my thoughts about really how Bayern's form has been as of late. So I guess let's talk about this match a little bit more now. We saw as things started here in this one, Bayern had a few chances in the beginning. I want to say it was around the 4th minute where I think it was Michael Olise I'm sure it was Michael Olise, right? He's so good at these crosses. Olise crossed a beautiful ball into the box at a streaking Serge Gnabry, who all he had to do was put it away. In real time, it looked like he kind of got shoved or American football tackled, but when I watched the replay, it looked like he just didn't do enough with the ball. So that was disappointing by Gnabry there. And then after that, what we actually saw was Celtic kind of come out with a lot of chances. And, this is partially credit to Celtic. I want to say that up front as well. Celtic played a great match. They're a very well-coached team. They were hungry. They were fired up. And, man, did they play well. So congrats to Celtic. Obviously, I wasn't rooting for them, but I did feel a little bit gutted because they maybe deserved to win. I'm not saying they were head and shoulders above Bayern or they were clearly the best team tonight, but they put up a hell of a fight and they put up a hell of a performance over 2 legs, really. And so I think they deserved better, and I think that, honestly, Bayern got a little bit lucky scoring in the final seconds of the match. But yeah, so Celtic had a number of chances after that Gnabry chance, and a lot of them were basically self-inflicted wounds by Bayern. They were bad back passes. They were just bad passes in general, turnovers. People were losing the ball. And yeah, so Celtic had a flurry of chances. By the grace of some black magic, dark arts, missed them all. Reminds me of a lot of the Leverkusen matches I watched last year. Bayern has a little bit of lady luck on their side in this one. Because, yeah, Celtic missed a lot of chances there. Bayern, again, just didn't really seem to have a plan. A lot of time losing possession. Celtic's press and their counters were working, quite frankly. There was one point where Rafa Guerreiro actually had a goal line clearance where, if you're standing between Rafa Guerreiro and the back of an empty net, it's I guess a shame for Celtic, but it's a wonder that some of these chances didn't fall. So, and again, Bayern's attack just wasn't fluid. It seemed like they would, do a lot of back passes and then just try to blast long balls in, or somebody would just take it and try to go one on however many defenders Celtic had, and that didn't work. It just didn't work. Right before halftime, we saw Kane with a great shot, but it went off the woodwork, off the crossbar. And, like I said, it was clear Kane was struggling with a lot of injuries in this one. So he came off at halftime, and Kingsley Coman came on. And that was where I got frustrated. I haven't seen enough out of Coman. I haven't seen enough out of Gnabry to justify bringing these guys on over Thomas Muller. And Muller has a lot of fans who, want him to start every match and this, that, and the other. I'm not even necessarily one of those people. I was fine with him not starting in this one in particular. But at this point, you can't take off Kane and tell me that you're going to play Gnabry and Coman and that's going to work better for the attack than somebody who could be the missing link like Thomas Muller. Because, again, I don't want to sound like I'm calling for Kompany's job or something, because I don't think he should be sacked at this point. I think we're not even really close to that yet. But it is so frustrating that he rides Coman and Gnabry. I guess Gnabry's been hurt, so maybe not Gnabry as much, but certainly he's been riding Coman, and even Leroy Sane in a way where, he's refusing to move Musiala out at the left wing. and he's just refusing to play Thomas Muller, and it's really sad because Muller deserves better, quite frankly. He's a legend at the club, and he obviously still has a lot to give. He still has some gas left in the tank, I'm sure of it. So where was Thomas Muller in this game? I don't want to talk much more about that, because it's just going to frustrate me, I suppose. But, we eventually saw what was probably deserved in the 63rd minute, which was a goal from Celtic. It was bad defending, mostly on Kim. I couldn't tell if the start of it was 100% on Stanisic. I couldn't exactly see what was going on. I mean, Stanisic lost the ball. He should have done better for sure in the start. But what happened then was Kim easily could have made it to the ball, but instead just tries to slide and totally whiffs at the ball, and that leaves a completely open lane for Celtic, former Bayern Munich player, to have a one-on-one with Neuer and bury it, And like I said, this was coming. I don't know if at this point Bayern was just happy to get a draw or what was going on, but they lacked teeth. They really lacked teeth in this game, and Celtic looked like they wanted it more. And then after that, Celtic kind of not completely parked the bus, but really did pack it in more and tried to defend more because, Bayern can't break down a low block, right? It's no secret. I've been talking about that a lot on this show. So Celtic did a good job of just being more defensive, and obviously Bayern Munich's going to have that depth that a team like Celtic might not. And if it sounds like I'm out of breath right now, it's not just because of the excitement of that match. It's actually just because I had to pause this recording and go help out this lady who is stuck in the snow. We did get a torrential, can you say that for snow? I know it's a word for rain, but we got a snowstorm is the point in Milwaukee, a couple of snowstorms, and now it's 0 degrees as well, so all of that snow turned to ice and cars are really stuck. And there was a lady out in front of my house who needed a hand, and finally we got her unstuck, but man, it required a lot of pushing and a lot of shoveling, so I will be out of breath for the remainder of this episode. Thank you to the powers of editing. So I guess where was I? Yeah, I mean, Celtic did a good job in this one at the end there, but it just wasn't enough because, by whatever powers that be, Kompany pushed the right buttons here and brought on Leroy Sane and Alphonso Davies in the 64th minute. Alphonso Davies, for all the great things you can say about him, I feel like he made a superhuman recovery with this hamstring injury. He's been... he was back quicker than I really thought he would be. I didn't think he was even going to suit up for this one, to be honest. So Alphonso Davies inks that new deal and comes in to be the hero. I thought Sane did all right. He provided some new looks for the attack that Gnabry and Coman just quite frankly weren't. So, I was happy to see Sane come in there, and he did okay, but Davies was obviously the one who returned in heroic fashion. Because deep into stoppage time, yes, that's right, deep into stoppage time, I'm talking the last action of the match, pretty much, Alphonso Davies scores the equalizing goal, which puts Bayern Munich ahead on aggregate. And I guess I'll set the stage a little bit better. You have Leroy Sane dribble the ball in, kind of take on a few defenders, not be able to break through into the box, but find Michael Olise just outside the box, who whips in a brilliant cross, and you have Leon Goretzka with a perfectly timed run. I mean, a perfectly timed run. He wasn't offside, but he also caught the defenders by surprise, streaking through from the back with enough space to land a beautiful header on the ball that Olise crossed into the box, and he headed a great shot right into Kasper Schmeichel, who, side note, was probably the man of the match overall, I thought. Celtic's keeper, Kasper Schmeichel, great match by him, saved a lot of good chances that Bayern was able to create, and saved this one too, but lo and behold, it wasn't enough because the deflection went to Alphonso Davies, who was there to put the match away in epic, heroic fashion. So Alphonso Davies, hero of the match. really hero of Bayern's Champions League hopes right now. So yes, that was the match. Bayern Munich advances. Thomas Muller actually did come on right after that, as the ref was blowing the full-time whistle for maybe a grand total of 3 seconds. So you had that in there. But wow, really what a great ending to that match. If you're a Bayern Munich fan, you take it. It wasn't a pretty match, but Bayern has played 3 brutal matches in the span of 7 days, so obviously they're tired, they're a little bit banged up, and you take it. It's about how they react to this now. As far as match awards go for this one, I'm going to give Alphonso Davies the man of the match just because he was the hero in the end. And I'll give the moment of the match, too, with that Davies sub returning from injury. So there's that. I almost gave it to the Kane injury, but that could end up being the moment of the season if Kane is out for a long time. Who knows? But anyways, I'm going to give the Robin to Leon Goretzka, actually, for pairing up. It wasn't the best at finishing in this match, but he stuck with it and got that crucial header and made that crucial run at the end of the match there. Joshua Kimmich, incredible match as well, per usual with Kimmich. I'm giving the defender to Stanisic. I thought he had a great match, like I said. Was almost the best player at certain points of the match, contributing to the offense and the defense at right back there. But, because of his involvement in what ended up being that goal, it wasn't a picture-perfect match for Stanisic, but I thought he did great, throughout that match. And now in the Champions League, we're going to find out. We face either Bayer Leverkusen or Atletico Madrid. Obviously, we know what Bayer Leverkusen is capable of. Hell, we played them 3 times this year already. And the way Bayern's playing right now, either one of these teams, I don't really fancy getting. I could see either one of these teams beating us, but Bayern has the talent to beat both of these teams as well. So, hey, let's just enjoy the ride now in the Champions League. It's a lot of fun to be in the final 16, and these are the nights that, champions are made, memories are made, whatever cliche you want to throw in there. It's true, though. This is the world's biggest footballing stage, and Bayern Munich is there. So that's going to be good. We'll talk more about it when the draw happens, which I believe is on Friday. I would maybe rather see Leverkusen just because we're so familiar with them, but it's really a horse apiece. I can't say either matchup is going to be easy. Frankfurt in the Bundesliga this weekend is not going to be an easy match whatsoever. I watch a lot of Frankfurt. I like Frankfurt, and even without Omar Marmoush, it's not a cakewalk. And the way Bayern are playing right now, nothing is going to be a cakewalk. So got to get the win there, and then after that, I believe it's Stuttgart right away again in the Bundesliga. So some tough matches coming up here, and this is where you earn the silverware in this part of the year. If Bayern wants to win the Bundesliga, they're going to have to win these games. So some big matches coming up. I hope Harry Kane is healthy. I think this is where I'm going to leave the episode. Remember to check out the YouTube channel, like and subscribe there, because we will be back with video episodes per usual, and those are a lot of fun, and we're doing the giveaway, and it's going to be a great time. So go over there and subscribe. I really appreciate you all listening to this one, checking out the Always Bayern Chelsea show. It means a lot. This has been an somewhat emergency, Bayern Munich only, audio only edition. So thanks again for listening. Mia san Mia.